Yeah. No whiskey tonight, but we got beers, so we can do our tinky tinks with the beer. So, cheers, boys. Cheers.
Here we are, and we're back.
Well, yeah. The next week, this week on the Saloon Scuffle, more bullshit.
I mean, it is kind of what we do.
Yeah. I mean, we got another comic tonight, though, so it might be funny. It might not be.
We'll see.
I mean, that's kind of how we wing it anyways. Like, we think we're funny. If nobody else does, we're fucking wrong. So, I mean, if you want to introduce yourself, then we just roll into it like we're sitting at the bar drinking.
Hey, I'm Ryan Lapoint.
See there? See?
There we go.
Stand-up comic. American hero. I don't know. It always sounds fun to say that. So, but, yeah, I mean, this is it. This is the same thing that Matt did last week.
Yeah,
just different room of the house.
Oh, you guys weren't in the same room at all?
No, we actually set up a studio in back room back there.
I thought it looked a lot more red when I was watching it on his live.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I'm just fucking having seizures or some shit.
No,
that was actually the studio.
Why can't it be both?
But it's good in here. It's nice, man. This is the third podcast I've done ever.
Yeah.
So
hell yeah.
Good on you. Looks good in here.
I would say it's probably one of the cooler venues.
Yeah, right?
I've seen a lot of podcast venues, and I'm like, God damn, the inside of that place is boring.
The last guy used mattresses as his sound barrier kind of thing, so he just like, hold on, I'm going to pull this cum stained on mattress over here. Oh, God. And you can see all the stains, so it's whatever. I don't have any room to talk, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's what, white mattresses are good because they cover that up. But if you're dirty when you go to sleep, once that sheet comes off, and we're all guilty of it. Every fucking person on the planet's guilty of it. I can't tell you how many times, especially whenever I was single before my kids, come home from working on cars and shit all day, and like, fuck this, I ain't doing shit for the rest of the night. Just fucking throw everything off, wash my hands, and go to bed. And it's like, And the next day, like, I probably should have done that. But that's whatever. It's too late now.
I took a trip down to the Red River with my father-in-law recently, and we were down there hunting for pigs, and I forgot all about chiggers. I had the chigger with me, but I didn't apply it. And then when I got back, we get home and I just throw my clothes inside, not even thinking they're like infested with those fuckers. My whole family gets them.
Damn.
Still dealing with it right now to this day.
Nice.
Yeah, there were times coming off shift Goodyear as a maintenance tech. Even doing just a 12-hour shift, and there's some 14-hour shifts. That doesn't leave time. I mean, like, even people say, I still showered. Well, what'd you get? Only 3 hours of sleep instead of 5?
Yeah.
And in between shifts, I'd come home and she'd throw some food down my face, and I just plop right over into bed. She's like, you gonna shower? No. All right, I'll wash the sheets tomorrow. Okay.
It's my short shift. I'll shower when I got a break.
Yep.
Right.
It'll be fine.
I'll be all right.
So.
Hell yeah.
But I think JP being a plumber, that's one job that I would definitely shower.
Most definitely.
Every time I got home from work.
I think I'd have an outside shower built.
Yeah, the closest thing to not showering is I used to keep a thing of dish soap and some rags right there by the garden hose.
Yeah.
Get home on those days where it's like, well, one, I'm too nasty to fucking go in the house, but when I get in there,
right.
I'm not going to take a shower.
Right.
I just stripped down right there in my backyard. Best I could.
Not going to be the first thing on my mind when I first get in the house.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, like, every single job you do, like, you have no gag reflex anymore, right? Like,
no.
Everything is disgusting, regardless of what you're doing. Once you pull a pipe out, there's fucking horrible smells and most likely bodily fluids.
The worst thing by far is grease.
Grease.
Yeah.
Grease is the worst. I've done some plumbing, and grease is actually worse than bodily fluids.
I constantly tell my wife, I'm like, why are you pouring that goddamn bacon grease down that motherfucker?
Shit, that's a waste on top of everything else.
Shit.
I mean, you got to save
Cook
bacon
with that.
grease.
Right?
That's cooking
Oil.
But vegetable oil does the same thing. It also goes rancid in the pipes, and then you add all that other stuff to it. It catches things, will congeal in the pipes. I mean, just thinking about it gives me the willies, man.
That's even, like, we're pretty good about that at my house. We try not to put it down there, but even still, once a month, once every other month, I'll just boil a big ass fucking pot of water and dump it down the drain just to help melt it all and fucking get it going on through the pipage.
I go out back and throw it all on the cottonwood out there and just let my dogs go at the on fire. That's all I do.
See, and I we keep the cheapest bags, large bags of flour I could possibly find.
Oh, yeah.
The cheapest. Like, we wouldn't even bake with it kind of flour. And I add flour to it, mix it into a solid, and then throw it away in the trash is what I do with it.
Oh, yeah. Oh. God damn.
Well, when I was a carpenter, I used to save sawdust for that.
Yeah.
Because most of my tools had the little bags, and I would just save it in a bigger bag, and I'd use the sawdust on oil. And you could do motor oil with it, throw it away naturally, as long as it's in the sawdust. All kinds of things you can use for sawdust like that.
Yeah.
But not anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, well, when I was younger, I would just kind of, you know, collect it in the bottle that had the new stuff and then just throw it right in the fucking trash, not caring.
Yeah. A lot of people do that. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that either. I mean, generally.
That's what we had fucking mason jars full of just fucking bacon grease and shit growing up as a kid. It's like, what's in that door or what's in that cabinet? Don't worry about that. That's all
bacon
cooking
grease.
oil right there.
Right, that's bacon grease. And I've got a jar of bacon grease right now.
Yeah.
One on the counter and one in the fridge.
Do you ever use lube? Lose it for your lube?
No,
No? You ever try it? Well, never?
don't need it.
Okay.
I'm good enough at what I do that I don't need to use bacon grease.
That's what he says.
Might bring two worlds together that you never thought you could imagine.
Squeal like a piggy!
I don't know if that'd cause any sort of, you know, inflammation or whatever down there.
I feel like it's a good way to get like a UTI or something
Yeah.
at least.
Probably. If nothing else, it's a whole new flavor.
Right. Yeah, can't, especially depending on who you're with. Like if it's a new person and that's your go-to, you could be getting a whole lot of flavors you don't want mixing together.
Oh, fish and bacon.
Ooh.
Like she could be making bread too. You don't want you get a whole fucking sandwich down there that
God damn.
you're worried about.
We're getting into this early already. You
Solve
ready,
some
Romeo?
world hunger with that
If
shit.
you haven't been offended,
Yeah.
You will be.
Yeah.
I don't know why people say I'm offensive. I just have a little bit of dark humor, and I say some off things. I know.
well, and it's reality.
Yeah, you know. It's funny because every time I go to a show, everyone's like, "Are you gonna do the school shooter dad joke?" Every single time.
That's my favorite one.
And my wife was talking shit on it the other night. She's like, you know, not that many people laughed when they heard that compared to all the other ones. And then my buddy just messaged me like, bro, that joke was awesome.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck you, there it is.
Right.
Hey, there you go.
That's one of my favorite jokes of the sets. That and fucking with your father-in-law. That was funny to me because I've got shitty humor too. So
Yeah.
like,
He's a good sport. He loves it all. When I've all those jokes I've said to him prior to and
right.
everything.
I figured
Yeah.
as much.
And that's the good thing about a good joke is you should be able to say it to the person, like the father-in-law joke. You should
Yeah.
be able to say to your father-in-law.
Yeah.
Well, you weren't there, so his father-in-law was dying of cancer.
Uh-huh.
So it was all jokes about that. But they were funny. Like
So the first one I started off with was a true story too. I couldn't find comedy in Lawton. It was like I was up in the Northeast doing comedy before, and then when I moved out here, I took like a year and a half off because I had to do a position that was very demanding of me. And then when I like kind of started getting back into it all, I was looking for a place to open my own spot because I just couldn't find anybody that was doing it. I was going around to different places like Bobaloos and shit, and
Right.
like, hey,
Wow.
hey, you know.
Walking a
Seeing if anybody needed wanted to do open mics or everything. There's other ones too, and everyone's like, nope. So I was like, fuck it, and I was about to just figure out what was going on in OKC, and then I saw Andrew's place for Comedy Avenue.
yeah.
Had his first open mic. I signed up for it, went over, had a great time, and then started getting more and more into it and everything. But before that all happened, I was just about to open up my own place. And I legit asked my father-in-law the day after I found out he had terminal cancer. I was like, hey, man, how would you feel about this name? It's kind of like a Cheech and Chong riff, but Dave's not here, man, because that's his name. He lost it. He loved it. But I also heard a different name that I couldn't just term in between the two. I also wasn't sure. I kind of want to do Club Baby Seals.
There we go.
Yeah, I like that one.
I like
Granted
that
that Dave's
one.
not here when it's funny, but
Yeah.
you have to be because that
I like that one.
joke is eventually going to go away where nobody's going to know what the fuck it is except
Oh,
for
yeah.
a few.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure most millennials have no idea who Cheech and Chong is.
Yeah.
Or clubbing baby seals, for that matter.
Is that even a thing anymore?
I mean, I'm sure.
Is that
it
a job
It's
still up in Canada or wherever
Probably.
else they're doing
I
it?
mean, you're French Canadian. You should know better than us.
I stayed on this side of the border. Once we broke away from the old country, we said
The
something.
old country.
So that sounds like he
the one on
probably
fire.
has clubbed
Yeah,
a
right?
few.
Oh God, it's on fire.
I have one. Can I give him that one? Is that the old one?
Yeah.
Oh, this will be a. We're gonna see how well this tastes.
Anybody else?
This got left in
Mountain
Yeah,
Dew
we'll get
hard.
another beer.
I think I've had one of those.
These are
before.
good, but this one we
I'll go
did
for
an
another
EDM
Modelo.
show
Yeah.
where we covered it. I think you may have liked one of the videos that we did. This was in the cooler
Yeah.
that stayed in my car for days. But luckily it
Should still
didn't
be good.
explode, and it's in a can, and it was covered in
I'm pretty sure Mountain Dew products can last through anything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to be around when the zombies are roaming.
I mean, it's still got a good crack to it, so it's...
Can't wait. I'll say I don't know if you've seen this one zombie show. I recently started watching it. Black
Okay.
Summer. If you haven't seen it, that's a great zombie show.
Is it?
I just recently saw it, and then I was like blown away by it. Amazing zombie show. Like not Walking
Put that
Dead.
back in the fridge for it now.
Fucking
yeah.
bullshit where they're all talking to each other and arguing over shit. Just like it. There are a few main characters, but this show doesn't give a shit. It'll kill them all
Right.
off, and it's fucking just.
Those
going
are... I
through
like
them all.
those shows.
Yeah,
Those are like...
doesn't
You
care.
got main characters, like, because you know somebody's going to get attached to it, and it's like,
Yeah,
fuck that
and
guy.
it's like they run fast. Everyone who dies turns
It's
into
like
a
World War
zombie.
Z
You
type
know,
run.
very World War Z.
Nice.
like-
Those zombies were fast for zombies.
And it's funny. It's like a mix of 28 Days Later and I guess kind of like The Walking Dead in a way, but there's no like real drama to it all.
No.
There's a little bit of it where they're just talking, but it gets more into
mostly
like
survival.
it's all like different time frames because it tells different stories throughout it all. So like you start to be like, oh, this is before that happened and that kind of shit.
Okay. I've seen a couple episodes of
Yeah.
it. I just was watching so much other shit. I was like,
Same.
can't start this now, because then I'm
Right.
going to forget where I was at on this. So, random subject change, because it dawned on me earlier when you asked about how long we've been doing it. I told you, we're only right about 60 days in.
That's
Well,
a
we
good show,
always-
by the way.
Say again.
That's also a good show.
So, we have an awkward small following in like Belgium and places around, like literally around the world. And so I was looking at the analytics today, and it shows a map. I didn't realize you could zoom in on the map. I think in other countries we might either have a very big homeless following or we're starting a cult that we didn't know about, because it shows you where it's downloaded from. And if you zoom
Okay.
in on the population area, it's all like under overpasses or like out in woods and shit. So either a lot of homeless people like listening to us, or we're starting a fucking cult. Honestly, I'm hoping it's option B.
Gonna be our own branch.
I mean, that is a wonderful tax break right there.
Yeah, completely. That would be legit as fuck. Well, I think we did talk about starting a religion at one point.
we did.
Be more than likely, whether we were on there or not.
Yeah. But I was looking at that today. I was like, that's funny. I'm glad I zoomed in on this, because there is literally the biggest populated area of downloads in Belgium.
Yeah.
Is right underneath an overpass where the highway splits. Like, okay.
Sounds like Tent City.
Right. Probably.
If there's any place, I guess that would be easy to start a cult, Belgium would be my first thought.
Right.
I would think so. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
As
they're
much
not
as
doing much
legal
else
as-
there.
have you
so.
seen the cult of people in Italy that they've made like a thing in a mountain? They were like digging a tunnel and it turned into this giant temple, and like all these yeah, they're like into more. I don't want to say spirit science, but they're into that stuff where like crystals and like they can, if you're wearing this helmet of crystals, you can do this shit where you can see your past lives. You know, they're into that kind of shit. There's people who go into this temple though. Back in the 70s, the police were like, "Where is this temple at? We know we know you dug into this mountain," and they refused to show it to them because they had a secret entrance. So the police threatened to blow it up, and then they were like, "Okay, we'll show it to you."
Fine,
and once they
fine,
showed it to
fine.
them, they were like, "Okay, you can keep the temple." But
How
like,
how are they gonna blow it up if they can't find it?
they were just gonna
Level
blow
the
the
whole
whole
mountain.
mountain,
Just the whole fucking mountain. Like, you
fucking
know what?
mountain.
Fuck that mountain. We don't need
They're
it.
gonna Mount Vesuvius that fucking.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, no, they went in there and like the camera crews have been in there. It's a fucking amazing looking temple.
That's cool.
But some of the murals, it's funny because dudes are wearing like polo T-shirts and shit because it's so recent. You know,
It's done like the Mayans and the
Hell yeah.
Aztecs, only it's modern.
I'm gonna have to fucking get real good at Google
Look at
Earth
that.
where you can fucking see shit under stuff. I'm gonna go to all the places where we've got a high population of downloads.
Yeah.
See if they've like looked us up online and there's just pictures of us just on an overpass underneath there, spray painted and graffiti or some shit.
Got like 12 guys sitting in their cars on their lunch break under the underpass.
That'd be awesome. That would be awesome. If we start a cult because of this, I'm 100% okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Like,
Just
Fuck yeah.
we need our percentage
The
off.
Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
I mean, I guess, kind of.
That. Maybe.
Yeah. Get
I'd
it
be
going.
the son. He's
He would
too
have to be
short.
the
You know,
father,
I'd
though,
have
because
to be
he's
the
the
father.
oldest.
I'm the oldest.
It seems like you could literally start a fucking cult based off of anything. You saw what L. Ron Hubbard did with Scientology.
Right.
Don't sue me, Scientology, but I mean, you can fucking make a cult out of anything. It seems like nowadays.
Yeah.
People are just dumb enough to make them believe you, or
Identify as
or
a
fake
blind
follow you
cult.
because they're just that, I don't know, bored or pussy.
I mean, and there's a lot of people that'll follow stuff just to see how dumb it gets, and they don't realize that just helps everything.
Yeah.
Like, I hope that there's a lot of people that follow this that think it's stupid, and then they share it. It's like, man, listen to these fucking idiots. And then their friends are idiots, and they're like, fuck you talking about? We like these guys.
Hell yeah.
Like, that's the goal. I think that's everybody's goal when it comes to social media and stuff like that, if you're trying to make any kind of, impact on anything, really.
The idiots do have a tendency to flock together.
I'm just waiting until we fucking hit the right nerve with the trolls and bam, there it goes.
And then it's going to explode. I mean, we are
Yeah.
just going to blow the fuck up.
Oh,
when
then
that
it's gonna.
happens.
Then they are gonna be funny, because that's one thing we're all very good at. There may be days that we can't fucking think of anything to talk about that we haven't already told each other 9,000 fucking times.
Yeah.
But when it comes to talking shit, we're all real good at it.
Do you just do podcasts usually with yourself, no guests? Or
Yeah,
do
we
you
do.
Always, yeah.
Yeah, we do it with just us. That's what last week was just
Yeah.
us. We got everything set
Shooting
up out here.
shit, randomly talking about shit.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can tell the amount of alcohol that's been consumed as the show goes on. 'Cause we all speak pretty good, just in general. Like we don't slur
For
our words
Oklahoma
much.
guys, yeah, you totally do.
Thanks.
But you can tell because we stopped giving a shit that we're recording, and we start just talking more like,
Yeah.
because we're not monetized yet. So we'd rather not shoot ourselves in the foot before it happens. But I guess if it does, we can always just pull those episodes down.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, we get a little louder, a little less tame,
yeah, you'll see.
a little less give a shit.
It's just beer. So, I
Having
mean,
fun.
No.
Yeah, but we were able to snag some more, so we've got at least 30 other beers in there.
oh, awesome.
So we've got 20 or 25 or 30 Budweiser in there, and I've got at least that one and another one of those, plus what you brought. I think you've got a fucking Mountain Dew in there too.
I brought one of those.
Yeah. I mean, I would add some whiskey. I normally don't drink hard liquor anymore because I'm a piece of shit. And
We'll drink whatever. We'll drink the hard liquor you bring.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
There you go.
Hereditary alcoholism is a pretty fun thing, you
Yeah.
know.
It runs in my family as well.
It's just been, I was Army, so it's like increased there, you know. It's like I was Super Saiyan alcoholic at that point.
I mean, I guess alcoholism is better than the whatever you're talking about in your skit with the penguin arms, where they only let.
Oh my God, Tay-Sachs, you want to hear this story?
Sure, why not?
True fucking story. So it's a bunch of times I went to the doctor. They always scared the fuck out of us with all these stupid things. One time, my son, they were like, he has no soft spots. He's gonna get this fucking condition where his eyes bulge out of his goddamn head, and he's got to have fucking cranial surgery and shit. So they always scare you, no matter what.
Yeah.
But they were like, I went to the geneticist with my wife while she was pregnant, and they're like listening to me, and then they go, I say French Canadian, and they're like, hey, we got to stop you right there. There's this serious condition. It happens to only French Canadian kids and Jewish kids. And we're like,
Damn.
oh my God, like what the fuck is it? And then they're like, okay, it's a mutation disease where these kids come out. It's called Tay-Sachs, and they have little flipper arms and flipper legs, like cute little penguins, but they don't live very long, and it's
Right.
a horrible thing for them. They're in pain and all this and that. And in this like weird, moment where it's scary, my wife looks over at the doctor and goes, "But he's not going to turn Jewish, right?"
And see, I was thinking that, like in my head, if I'd been told that in my head, one of my first things would have been like, Batman gonna show up on my doorstep?
I see at that point, like, and it sounds really shitty, but luckily we're all kind of same style of dark humor. Do you get attached to the kid at that point, or do you just treat it like a pet?
Toss it in the river, see if it flippers.
Man,
Like that's
You said
see
they
if those
don't.
flippers work. Maybe he's like it's legit, and they
Like, maybe
actually
it's
get
legit,
better.
maybe you can just start.
I got a fucking-
diving and sliding off.
I got a new Olympic goddamn
And if you
champion.
don't flip, then you've
But-
just Darwined him.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never had that besides, the miscarriages.
Right.
My ex had a bunch of miscarriages, and I was almost to the point where I could have like summoned a demon from enough of them. But you know, I've never been to that point where if the kid came out and like they were all fucked up, I had to make a choice, being like, well,
Right. It's like,
should we
I
keep
love
him
you.
in the kennel or should we keep him in the bed?
Right. It's like, I love you, but I'm going to make you slide down the hall. That way
Yeah.
you have a lot of fun for that.
I mean, I would have
short life
like
that you
made it entertaining.
Yeah.
We would have definitely had that kind of life. It would have been like Mr. Popper's Penguins in that house.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
but like, I don't know if that would have happened. Probably just like threw in the dumpster. And I'm just
Prom night dumpster
I was
baby.
fucking same
it would just
thing.
been roll with the dice.
Yeah.
Roll with the dice. Deal with it. You know, it's only a couple of years. It'll be dead soon. And then once that happens, maybe we'll try for another one. Unfortunately, I mean, not unfortunately, I just had my vasectomy, so I was like, don't fuck around, lady. Like, this is our only one here. Like,
Right.
if now she got a tubal, I got a vasectomy, we doubled down, didn't want any more fucking kids. And, yeah,
these kids.
I was like, I said that at the Red Dirt Reloaded, too. I brought my kids to the Red Dirt Reloaded competition, and all these people are like, I can't do comedy in front of kids. So I went up there and I was like, fuck those kids, even though I brought the kids.
If, as a parent, you haven't said fuck them kids at least once, your
Right.
kids are probably shitbags and you're a terrible parent.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. You're a really,
Right.
really bad parent.
Like, I say it almost daily. It's like, God damn it, fuck this kid. I gotta go take a shit for 30 minutes. Leave me the fuck alone.
Right? Oh, man.
That's the only place I
Shit time
get
is
peace,
so
and I don't
good.
even get peace there.
I get knocks on the door and then opening the fucking door handle. I got fucked up door handles, so you can't do it very well. But
Mine will unlock the fucking door because it's just the standard interior lock that you can unlock with a penny.
yep,
Well, I keep a
The
butter
old
knife
style ones,
up in my little nook where I keep the vacuum cleaners and shit. That way I can just clean shit out of the vacuum cleaner.
yeah.
Well, he figured out he can grab that and just Dad! Fuck what, man? The fuck you want?
Is it shower time yet?
Go away. Or kids always have to take a shit as soon as you sit down to take a shit. You notice that? Like, you could be out for 10 and a half hours. Don't have to go to the bathroom once. You get home, sit down, take a shit. I'm like, Dad, I gotta go poop.
Because my father has the or my father-in-law has the colostomy. Like, you got to plan it all out throughout the day because he's got to dump that bag, and it's like concentrated, you know. And that little, and there's no fucking air vent in there. It's just that heater that they put in those
Right.
fucking bathrooms.
Right,
I don't
yeah.
know why they do that out here.
Oh, yeah.
But it's fucking miserable. I gotta light candles and shit all the time in there and wait like an hour before that's fucking cleared out. So bad.
Just build him his own little outhouse outside.
That's what I should do.
There you go.
Just a dumping tray.
Yeah.
There you go.
Get him his own Porta Johnny.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And just run some water out there so we can just turn it on like he's flushing the toilet. It'll make him feel like good old days.
It's fun. I always talk about his stoma, you know, the hole in his fucking
Yeah.
stomach, and I'm just like, what does it feel like? Let me see how many fingers I can.
Right?
How many
If you're
fingers
gay,
in
can
there.
you fuck it?
Yeah.
Let me poke that.
I think he could. I don't know how much enjoyment he
It's like
got.
the
out of
new
it.
asshole, though. I mean,
Yeah. He's lucky because when he eats spicy food now, he only burns going down, doesn't burn coming out.
Oh, wow.
So,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Lots of spice in the food now.
I couldn't eat this when I was younger, but I can now because I don't got to worry about where it burning my asshole.
It's his own fault. I mean, he got cancer and he admits it to it. He just, his whole life, fucking prime rib, medium rare, or rare. You know, rare, everything rare all the time. And we were like, Dave, like, even when he's had it 3 times now. This is the first time he
Jesus.
moved in with us, and we were trying to treat him, and then he got better. He quit smoking, but then he went back all to it, and then he got it again. Had the rest of his rectum removed, damn near killed him, and then on his 3rd time, they were just like, it was sad, and his fiance died this year. They were about to get married. They're actually going to get married a few weeks ago. She had like a crazy thing that was going on forever, and then like it ruptured inside of her, bled out. So we were like, we heard the next day after her funeral, he has terminal cancer, and I was just like, I'm gonna come get you. Like, her 2 kids were living with him, and their father was taking custody of them. So like, I'm
Right.
like, he was about to get kicked out of his apartment too by the landlord. So I was like, you have no place to go, just move in with us. And
Yeah.
I flew home, brought him out here with all his shit, and most of his shit's still in a fucking storage unit, and the rest of it's all in my little 1,100 square foot house.
It won't be too much longer, and you'll have to
Yeah,
start going
you
through and
know.
start getting rid of shit.
And then it's my shit.
That's your shit to deal with.
You never know, you can
But-
find something super cool in there that's worth a ton of money that nobody knows about.
There's a lot of
Fingers
things
crossed.
in there. That's all I can say.
Yeah, that's a shitty run of events.
Yeah.
Especially the next day, just got done at a funeral for your fiance, and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, you're going to be seeing her again soon.
He was spending so much money on her treatments and getting looked at that he didn't buy to do himself to her scans, and then finally when he had the money to do it, they scanned him and they're like, this shit's all throughout your body now. So he's taking these pills.
Yeah, there's nothing they can
He's doing everything he can, but he's taking these one pills and he thinks that's what's doing it for him, called all I can think of is wild turkey for fucking booze, but it's something turkey mushrooms. Turkey mushroom pills. They're apparently supposed to like reduce cancer cells. He does the whatever the fuck Joe Rogan talked about forever.
We've had mushroom conversations in almost every
not
single
psychedelic,
episode.
not psychedelic.
Yeah, but mushrooms of some sort or another.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's what we're going to turn into, is just a mushroom podcast.
I can't wait to fucking retire and take those fucking pills. That's all I know. You know, there's a lot of guys down in Texas right now, former, veteran community, a lot of special operations. They're working with Dan Crenshaw. They're all trying to legalize psychedelic mushrooms.
So veterans. We have actually touched on that. So
I mean, I'm all for them and that. And it sucks being in the service and not being able to do something like that could completely clear your PTSD issues.
Yeah.
So
because it's shown great stuff for like TBIs and stuff like that.
It's just, I don't know if I had that, because when I was in Iraq, I had a bunch of bombs blow up in my face, but no one ever told me what a TBI was. And then years later, when I came here, they're like, "Did you ever get a TBI test?" And I was like, "I have no clue what you're talking about."
Right? Yeah.
Like, oh shit!
What is that?
You should have had these tests done after your bombs blew up in your fucking face.
Well, yeah, but TBIs hadn't been really a big thing except for the last 5-6 years that they've really come into people knowing about them and doing all that.
Well, when I was in Afghanistan in 2013, that's when it's a funny story. What happened? We went out, and a guy who was with us as we went out, our mortarman platoon sergeant, we were about to leave the area we're at, and then we're getting shot at. He's shooting his mortar fucking thing. I don't know what size it was, whatever size he carried around with him, and he's shooting him at, but he's looking up to see where the splash was for the mortar hitting. And I'm like, I can't see anybody shoot at me. It's Afghanistan. They're like Predator, bro.
Right.
You can't see them at all.
Yeah, can't see them at all.
They just hide out in the bushes. And he keeps doing that, and then he almost gets shot, and I'm like, you're fucking playing with fire, bro. And then I go like to crawl around and regain a new position to just see if anybody's shooting or where the fuck it's coming from. And right as I climb around and do that, I hear someone scream. So I go back down, break my cover, run back to that area where I see a bunch of people gathered around. And they're all treating him. He got shot in the leg, high thigh. And I was like, fuck. And my platoon sergeant was on another hilltop 500 meters away with my medic. The only people I was with was a couple soldiers, my radio man, the platoon leader, the lieutenant.
Yeah.
And then another squad leader. He was a sergeant, I was a staff sergeant, and a couple more dudes. So I see what happened, and then like the mortarman people. I see what happened. I'm like, fuck. And there's my squad leader friend and one of his cronies, the platoon sergeant's cronies, sitting right there, and I'm like, here, I'm pulling out all these medical things out of my pockets. I'm like, here, take this shit and just fucking help him out with whatever he needs. I didn't know if it was in the femoral artery or not. It was. So they put on a tourniquet, and then I run over to a guy, get his backboard to like unroll it all and everything, and then run back over with it. And we're still in a firefight. People are still shooting off the top of this mountain down into these whole fucking farmlands all around us from the north, the west, and the south. And right as I run back, I see the guy didn't do shit with the fucking medical shit. And I'm like, get the fuck out of the way. He was like a little bit in shell shock, just a younger soldier, So I start helping him out, and he's still bleeding. So we put on another tourniquet. He's still fucking bleeding, and we're like tightened all the way you could possibly get. Put on another tourniquet. Finally, he's like, we're getting his gear off him, and then right as we're like kind of getting everything off of him, my platoon leader runs over and he goes, "Hey, what happened?" And right as he does that, a fucking Afghani army or police officer fires an RPG, aimed down the mountain, and this lieutenant's right behind him. And if you don't know about backblast area, it's like the gas that goes off from a rocket can fuck you up. He was directly behind it. I'm like sitting there on my knees, like helping this guy, and then all of a sudden the rocks lift off the ground and drop. And I'm just like, what the fuck? I thought bombs were being dropped on us, mortars. And then I look over and I'm like, shit, they're dropping bombs on us. And I look over and I see my soldiers, and they're like, no, this asshole fired an RPG. My platoon leader's rolling on the ground, so now, because my platoon sergeant's not there, I'm like, well, I guess I'm the next guy in charge.
Damn it.
I get my platoon leader, who's all Hodored up at the moment, and I'm like, Hodor, fucking help me carry his ass. So we have to like
Hodor up.
it was weird. We had to go over these cliffs, down the hill, and then there's like a trail from the cliffs that go up over the hill again, and then back down the other side where our trucks all were.
Yeah.
So I call my truck, have it drive up the fucking hill, meet them over there after carrying this dude over there, fucking bring his ass all the way down to a helicopter landing zone. You know, he's dying fucking as we're like driving him out. He's like passing out. We had to put another tourniquet on him, a fourth tourniquet,
Jesus.
in the fucking Humvee. Or it wasn't a Humvee, it was another vehicle, newer than those. And then, you know, I set up a helicopter landing zone. We get in the helicopter. They drive him out of there and fly him out of there. And he died twice in the operating table, but they brought him back to life. Couldn't believe anybody ever did anything to him that was non-medical personnel. Later, they wanted to, like, give out the awards. And they're coming to me and they're like, who deserves it? Because they saw me do majority of all this shit, and I'm like, well, the dude who got the first tourniquet on there, the other squad leader, he deserves it.
Right.
He got the first tourniquet, that saved his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're all doing like the sworn statements and shit, and this dude fucking on his sworn statement, he's like disagreeing with everybody. He's like, no, it didn't go down that way. He's like, he's trying to like build himself up more for it all. So like.
Yeah.
He didn't know that, like, they came to me and they're like, who deserves it? And I said it was him for the fucking... It would have been a silver star that was being given out. Because our battalion commander's like, someone deserves a silver star. Everyone else, bronze stars. And I'm, like, telling them, give it to him. But he's changing his story to blow up everything he did. And it's not matching up with everybody else's. And I'm like, bro, if your shit doesn't match up with ours, they're not going to give out anything. And he's like, I'm not changing my story. I'm like, whatever. Someone got shit about these coins being like, good job, guys. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that for the whole story because we originally were talking about one subject, but
That's
that happened.
kind of what we do.
Yeah,
We squirrel a lot.
yeah, I do that. ADHD's a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Well, yes, it is.
All the way. But, fuck it.
That dude lived though. He's still alive today.
Well, good deal.
I'm happy for it.
Congratulations.
Walks with a little bit of a pimp walk now, but
There's nothing wrong with that.
right.
We all do that at least on occasion. Maybe not all the time, but on occasion you get that little pimp walk of confidence going on. Like, yeah, buddy, got that little hitch in your step.
I'm getting there. They just told me I have no what's it called? I was gonna say collagen.
Cartilage?
Cartilage. No cartilage in my foot anymore.
I don't have any in my knee. I just
I've
found out
ran
about
too
that.
long. Yeah, I'm going on Monday to hear the orthopedic surgeon tell me or specialist tell me whether or not when I'm gonna have surgery. My PCM was like, oh no, I'm not even a specialist, and I can tell you're gonna need fucking surgery.
Yeah.
So I was like, God damn it.
Yeah, see, I don't have one of those. I went to the doctor. I went to the ER the other day just because I went and swim with my kids, and even just walking around in the water, I could just feel just all the. It was like,
God damn.
It was right in my knee.
Bone
I was like,
on bone.
Okay, it's gotten bad enough that if it's in the pool, I'll go get it checked out. And the doctor walked in, and he just kind of like he just was looking at it. He straightened my knee out. And he could feel it, and he's like, I know it's wrong, but we're gonna do some X-rays.
No, let me ask you a question though. If they told you the secret to healing that,
No.
you gotta fuck a little kid, would you do it?
No, I would not.
No.
I'm just
Knee
kidding,
replacement surgery all day. Which would be weird because, like, I've needed surgeries for the last, like, 15 years. Like, I've needed shoulder surgery for and shit as long as I can remember. I had a cyst in my shoulder that where it set was literally right in the joint. So this was as high as I could lift my arms forever. Like 12 years. And then finally getting back into the gym, it popped. And I was sick as shit for like 3 days because once all the toxins and stuff are in there, it just goes into your bloodstream. And you're like, not okay with this. Now I can move my arms again. But then now my knee's doing this. It's like the knee's harder to fuck with, you know, because I kind of need that. You need your shoulder too. But like I can deal with not being able to do this. Like especially being tall, like I don't have to really reach way up very often.
How about Neuralink? Would you do Neuralink? The Elon Musk Neuralink?
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
No?
That's just isn't that the
bro.
grippy
Do you
stuff
know
on the
that?
bench press bar?
It's like these new brain implants he's trying to do where it's like a chip goes in your brain and you can like control way more about yourself. If you have bad vision, you can correct your vision. That's allegedly, you know, Elon
I mean, I
Musk.
think it'd be cool, but
So
I mean, it deals
No.
with Elon Musk.
I just want to know, like,
True.
is there going to be an off switch? Is there going to be like,
Right.
now you're my drone switch?
right? You
Like-
say something shitty on Twitter, and Elon's
It's-
like, fuck that guy.
Cyberpunk as fuck, but I don't want to like give up my I don't know.
Just become a cyborg.
My ability.
I'd
Yeah,
much
right?
rather do the black market stuff where nobody knows anything that's going
Right?
on, and I paid some shady guy fucking $14 and a
yeah.
handy in the back of a 7-Eleven to fucking do it.
Right? I was watching the Futurama with Fries, like the second or third one, and he's walking down, and the guy's like, "What you want, gills or Z-Ray?" It's like an eyeball just hanging in his coat. He's like, "This says Z-Ray." He's like, "It's not even X-ray," and he's like, "Oh, it's two better."
Right. Damn right.
You see Futurama's coming back?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, did you see that you have to pay $3 on Hulu to be able to watch it?
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Hulu, you
Well,
just
or
lost
can watch
me.
it on the regular channel, but
Yeah. I don't do TV, regular TV anymore. I just stream everything.
Yeah, that's
so.
same.
well, all we've got is like a free TV key.
Yeah.
We don't pay for cable, or we pay for the internet. Right now, it's cellular internet, but it still works for us for now.
I
We're fixing to upgrade.
Hope
but
they're never any of your sponsors, but I hate Comcast. I hate satellite, whatever, everything satellite. Yeah, all those fucking companies, I probably still have money to for not returning their equipment.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you're listening, you can all go fuck yourself. I will wait it out those 8 years with the
Right.
credit report before I fucking return any of that equipment. I think
Right.
I actually threw it all away. I was in Connecticut, and they're like, "Oh, just bring it here to Boston." I'm like, "You can go fuck yourselves."
Yeah.
yeah,
You
exactly.
can go
It's
fuck
a
yourselves.
bit of a drive. No.
But we get like a couple of religious channels, and we get like Fox and
Yeah.
like Crime TV. We get several different Channel 7 that are all air channels. You can't get them on cable or on internet. So we get local news, and we get Fox. So that's about all I watch.
Yeah, Fox News. My father-in-law keeps it on 24/7 in his room, and then when he comes out, I'll occasionally throw it on for him, just because I got the sling,
Yeah.
thing. So I'll be like, "There you go. What do you want to listen to, Tucker?" Oh wait, he's gone.
Yeah, right.
Oh, news.
Where'd he go?
I think it's on the phone.
Oh. Uh-oh. One of the kids kicked the other kid in the face.
Yeah, probably. It happened.
Yeah,
That happened a few weeks ago. We had literally just got started. We were maybe 10 minutes in. He was like, I gotta go. Ty kicked Gabe in the face, or Gabe kicked Ty in the face. It's like, was it at least good form? Like, these are the important
Is
questions.
it emergency room worthy?
Right? Was that on purpose?
Yeah. My son was getting out of the shower, and I went to like dry him off with a towel, and he just did one of those like Starman fucking jump
yeah.
out with his hands and finger right in the eyeball. And Andrew had a show that night on Comedy Avenue, so I went to it with a friend, and I drove him, and then I was like, I can't be here anymore. Drive me fucking home. I'll get my car tomorrow.
Right.
Like I had to go to the emergency room. I tried to sleep it off. It was so miserable. Next morning, I woke up early and was like, I'm going to the emergency room. It just hurts. It was like 2 days I couldn't even open my eye. It was,
Yeah, eye pain. Mouth pain and eye pain. Are some
It's
of the
amazing
worst.
how bad the eye hurts when the eye doesn't actually have any feeling in it.
right?
Yeah.
It's like, but everything else is just like, no, fuck you. We're going to make all of this portion
The whole region.
very uncomfortable. Good. Nobody kicked anybody in the face this time?
No, Gabe's just being a whiny little shit.
What
Okay.
kind of kick was it? Was it a roundhouse? Like some Anderson Silva shit? What are we talking about?
Well, if you ask Gabe, I'm pretty well sure this was like Lucha Libre flying fucking roundhouse
Oh
to
yeah.
the face.
Hell yeah.
But now, he's the one that received the kick. What Ty told me is that he was laying down, just lifted his leg as Gabe was getting onto the couch, and Gabe hit his leg.
Probably full Starman jump. Just
Probably.
Yeah. So I'm like,
Happens a lot.
somewhere between I didn't do anything and he flying roundhouse kicked me in the face from the other side of the house.
it's a lot of
Somewhere
ground.
in the middle is what actually happened. I just
That's a
don't
lot
really
of
know
ground.
where.
What's crazy is the real bad shit brothers usually won't tell about, because the other one's like, I swear to God, I'll do whatever you
Right.
need me to do to not tell mom and dad.
Right.
I got a fucking scar right here from my brother taking a file with a wooden handle and be like, "You afraid? Are you afraid?" But he didn't know the file would come out of the wooden handle, and it went into my fucking head. And then like
Well, I am now.
gave me whatever I wanted to keep my silence.
It's like, I am now, goddammit. Well, it's like my kid. We talked about this the other day. Like he'll be walking or he'll be running or something, and he'll fucking he'll stub his foot on the cabinet or something, and then he'll smack the cabinet. And it's like
the cabinet did it on purpose.
it's like the cabinet hurt me. I'm like, no, bro, the cabinet is stationary. It does not fucking move. Take that turn a little wider. You've done this 4 times today. Take the turn wider.
I think it'll learn.
It's pretty easy. Or it's like my dresser. He ran into my dresser the other day, and then he got mad at my dresser. He's like, I hate that dresser. It's
Yep.
like, I can walk through there, parallel, just straight through it. Like I don't have to turn to the side. Like you're far smaller than I am. Like it's your fault.
My son's top heavy, so every time he falls, it's like full scorpion. And then sometimes his toes even touch the back of his head. It's impressive.
Last time
You're gonna have to start recording that shit.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing funnier than kids falling down or fat girls falling down. Those are the two funniest things to watch
Oh yeah, agreed.
all the time.
Last time I went over there, I walked through the door, and he's coming around the kitchen island thing. And, what's up? And Gabe comes out and says, Uncle Aces! And he has this huge sectional in this tiny little living room. So Gabe hits one part of the sectional, runs across 2 cushions, hits the floor, bounds up on one part, clears the back of the couch head first, face first. Bap! Right into the wall. Slides down, hit the floor. He jumps up and runs over to Dad, says, Dad, did you see what the wall just did to me? I mean, Daddy is what the boy does. Did you see what the wall just did to me? We stood there going,
I saw what you did to the wall. Can you not do that? You got a hard head like your dad, man.
Oh,
He just Supermaned it and just face first right into the wall, slid down, hit the floor. Well, I was just looking at him like, what the fuck did you just do, boy?
Fucking kids.
To quickly air out the confusion, if it hasn't already been taken care of, his youngest boy's name is Gabe. My youngest boy's name is Gabe.
It's
There
not
is
a
a
nearest
year
brother
difference
Yeah, there's
in the age.
just 2 Gabes.
No judgment. I don't judge any Gabes.
Yeah, that'll get you canceled.
You guys had the privilege of judging that comedy competition.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
hard fucking competition with a lot of good comics.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and there wasn't a lot of in between. There was a lot of good comics, and there was a lot of comics that, well,
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
There
like
was
the skeleton hanging on the wall over there.
there was a lot of good comics. There was a few
it happens.
that not. Granted, Danny, she has the potential to be really good.
She has potential.
You can tell she's
Definitely
nervous
does.
and all of it, and and it was I guess a new puppet or whatever. Like she has the potential. I think she's trying to do stuff for an older crowd when her jokes are more geared towards like a younger crowd.
Yeah.
Still, because those are,
It's got to be hard being a ventriloquist.
yeah.
It really does,
know?
yeah.
I thought about just pulling my sock off and telling jokes up there, just
She
But
might have taken that as you make it.
probably, I don't want to make fun of her. She's a sweet girl.
Yeah, she's real nice. We're hoping to have her on. She said
Yeah.
she'd drive from Kansas to fucking.
I
come
bet
be
she
on.
would. I bet she would. She's always driving down in different places and from Kansas too, which is crazy. That's such a fucking long drive.
Yeah.
But yeah, her and I are Facebook friends now, so it's
Yeah.
official.
Yeah, us too. So she liked the page and mine.
Yeah.
So we'll figure that out.
Have you seen Susan Ware, otherwise known as Grandma Nasty?
I haven't seen her live, but I did
Matt.
see some of the stuff that Matt posted the other
Yeah,
day.
Matt posted
Yeah.
some stuff.
Hilarious.
He told us about her.
She won the Red Dirt before as well.
you?
My father-in-law's mad because he's still yet to see her. We work decently amount together, go to open mics together too. Just
Yeah.
meeting up at random places. The last time I hosted, she was on one of them, and
While you're in there, bro.
she's hilarious, fucking hilarious.
That's what Matt was saying. You can just give me a regular beer.
Have
Saying
a
that she's
Modelo,
fucking
please.
raunchy as fuck. But
Yeah. It's weird because you're like, oh, you're like my grandma, and then you're like,
Right.
oh, you also are not like my grandma. Maybe secretly she was, but
Yeah, I'm good for the moment.
she just had a hard life, Age 65 made her look 92. But whatever, she went all out. Lived life a little too fast.
hey, I mean, apparently she's still trying to live it.
Still trying
Yeah.
to live it that way
So-
from what we heard.
Yeah. I heard a story recently about her, and Matt and I wanted to do a skit out of it. So,
Was it the hospital one?
yeah, the hospital one, where, if you didn't hear this, she had a boyfriend. I don't know if they're together still. His name was Bernie, this old school cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and,
he told us that.
oh, did he say it in here?
No,
Okay.
not in here.
Go ahead.
So, Grandma Nasty's boyfriend somehow winds up in the hospital, and he's overnight. So she goes to visit him, and he's wearing a diaper in his hospital gown. I don't know if he's wearing the cowboy hat and the boots in bed, but
At least
she
for the
goes in there to
story.
visit. I would imagine he still is, but in the story, or in what happens was, she goes to visit him, and he starts asking like, "Hey, can I get a blowjob?" While he's wearing a diaper. She somehow turned him down. I didn't think that was capable of her. But it blew up
She's gonna have
more
some
into
propriety.
a fight. It started to progress into a big fight about it all. So she wound up having, one, security got called, but two, she wound up having to run out of the room. So he runs after her in a cowboy hat, cowboy boots, his hospital gown, and a diaper, screaming, "It was just a fucking blowjob I asked you for," all the way out. And yeah, Matt and I want to recreate that into a skit.
I bet they're still together because that seems like a healthy relationship.
Maybe.
They really did.
Like-
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's like, no, fuck you, you old bastard. You're wearing a diaper and you're in the hospital. I'm not sucking your dick. Fuck off.
He's a nice guy. I mean, if I was her age and that old, I might have considered it.
Oh man. God. I had my first, not my first, but my first run-in with a legitimate Karen in a long time today.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And it was all over holding the door.
Yeah. Oh.
Really?
And this was
Did you emasculate her?
I was going to say emasculated woke Karen.
it was a Canaran.
A Canary.
The only thing I can think to call a transgender Karen.
Okay.
So that's all I can think
Ken
of.
Aaron. I was thinking a
that's going on
canary
with
for
brother.
some reason.
That's what
like,
I was thinking.
Was she
I'm like,
singing too?
the fuck?
That's going to be a shirt, a Canary.
That's the only thing that I can think. I was at the gas station. I was coming out of the gas station. It was coming in. I don't know its pronouns. Holding the door. And all of a sudden I can't hold my own fucking door. I was like, just trying to be nice. You can go fuck yourself.
Yep.
Like, don't know what else. And I just continued to stand there and it's like, just walk in the door. Like, it's not a big fucking deal. It was a pretty short interaction. That was kind of it. This old man just walks up. He goes, "You can hold the door for me. I appreciate it." He just kind of looks at her and goes, just give her the finger. Just walk the fuck on. I was like,
Fuck
that old man is my fucking spirit animal. He does
Right.
not give a fuck.
Right.
That was it. That was the whole interaction. But it's like,
But the old man made the point.
it's like I don't. Why? Like, how is that a thing that offends people because you're holding the door for them?
You know, and it's funny, at my age, I do that a lot. Like, I'll walk up and I'll see a couple come up, or I'll see a man and a woman. They're not together, but they're close. Woman just blows right on through the fucking door like she expects it. Like, I get more thank yous for holding the door for other men, whether they're my age or younger, your age or his age. Doesn't matter, especially elderly. But I get more appreciation from men when I open that door and let them go through first, or then they'll hold the door for me if there's a second door. Than I do from women. And it's like, what is your fucking problem?
Well, because they're all entitled now.
It's a lot of people out there. I don't know. I can't. There's just so many different types of people, and now with the internet, so many woke people, and
Yeah.
I fucking hate that so much.
it's funny because like I didn't use that term as a teenager, but I definitely felt that way of myself. And then when I joined the army and realized like when that's stripped away from you and you are powerless, the army is one legit thing of what people don't realize. You are owned by the government, and then someone is assigned to be your leader.
Yeah.
I've had people tell me like, you can consider this slavery, and I'm your fucking slave owner. Like, you will do what I tell you to do. And like back then, no one in my platoon, no one was ratting on anybody or saying shit, all
And
this
you didn't
fucked up
question
shit.
it.
They were just like, whatever, this is hazing, and I gotta deal with it. No one's putting
Right.
dicks in my mouth, so I'm not gonna complain.
Right.
But like,
Slavery. The difference is you can afford a car at too high of a payment, marry a stripper.
and it happens, And I'm sure guys in Vietnam weren't as complaining about it, even they probably were because they got fucking forced into it. But like, it was me. I chose it to do it myself. I no one made me fucking join the army. So you appreciate a lot of shit more at that point, just especially being a grunt and seeing the level of fucking work you have to do as an infantryman. They don't give a fuck about your sleep plans. They don't give a fuck about anything. They'll be like, yo, we have these jobs to do today, and no one's going to sleep probably till tomorrow morning until it's all done.
Right.
Right, yeah.
And then
And
you're
then-
going to sleep for 2 hours.
And it's the most
If that.
backbreaking work you've ever fucking had in your life, and you're doing a multitude of things, whether it's filling sandbags, changing tracks on a vehicle, or just doing maintenance on anything. There's a million fucking different things, to include all the dumb training that they could have you doing just to
Painting
get
the chain between the
Yep.
bowlers
Hey,
on the walk.
Let's go gather all these rocks up and paint them all up so they fucking says goddamn 1st Battalion, whatever fucking bullshit.
My favorite joke still is the one where it's like, you see those sandbags?
Yeah.
Take those, you move them 10 feet, and you stack them back exactly how they are, right there.
You know who did that joke on there? His name's Richard High. He was the drill sergeant. He's the Angry
Yeah.
Cops. That's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was him originally before he became kind of famous in that world mindset. They were just like, drill sergeant so-and-so, why are you moving sandbags 10 feet?
I don't know.
He's like, I don't know. Like, they fucking told me to. And he just brings them over there.
Yeah,
that happens all the time. And it's what it is it's officers, man. There's a breaking culture between officers who are this fucking fancy class of lords and vassals, and they think their shit don't stink most of the time. Not all y'all. And then there's the enlisted folk. And they're like, well, we can't hang out with those fucking people. They're the lower scum of the earth and the workers and the slaves.
There's a major
So
disconnect.
there's a huge disconnect. And even in these times, people make fun of it all the time. But, like, if I'm around a general, I can't be myself and say the things I want to say. I have to be this fake-ass, it's like being in front of the fucking CEO kind of deal. And you got to all of a sudden put a smile on your face, even if you're fucking like, whatever, I hate this bitch. So it happens, and it happens a lot through the military. There's a whole culture class divide, and I think it goes beyond the military. I was at a friend's barbecue with my wife, and my buddy was throwing it. I knew him from Germany and Iraq, but he has all these new people he knows here. And I'm shaking his hand, shaking his friend's hand, and then there's a woman there, and I'm like, do you work with Juan? And then she's like, what? Am I what? And I was like, okay, are you a fucking dependa? And then, because she was an officer's wife, she took it very offensively. And my wife's just sitting there, my wife's just laughing her ass the whole time off.
Yeah.
But, like, this lady was just fucking super pissed off about it.
Your wife seems like she's got a pretty good sense of humor after just
Very dark,
the little bit of interaction from the other day.
Yeah.
So,
see, my dad was a chief warrant officer. My grandfather was a chief warrant officer. His brother was a chief warrant officer. And, I mean, the men of my family have been chief warrant officers since the warrant program was originated, pre-Vietnam. So I, even as a child dependent, have felt, even in my world at 6, have felt that same kind of disconnect from enlisted kids to officers' kids to then the warrant kids.
Yeah.
We had to be in our own little groups.
It's a weird separate group. They're officers, but they're not.
But they're not.
They are commissioned, but it's not part of the commissioned corps of officers. They're a separate. They're the experts of their jobs. And mostly what it is, sometimes it's officers that switch over. I used to do warrant officer commissioning packets. That in OCS, I used to build them for soldiers. Yeah. And then, because we got a quota, hey, you have to find this many people in the Army Reserve, and then you have to have them selected, this many selected every single year. And let me tell you, it's hard bullshitting for a lot of pieces of shit that didn't do that much great.
Right, yeah.
So, but some people were really good about what they did. But the Corps, in my opinion, for their Corps, I mean, they're losing people.
Oh, yeah.
No one wants to be in the Army as much as they did anymore, and it's just dwindling. The Warrant Corps is losing a bunch of people.
Well, the Warrant Corps has gone downhill.
Yeah.
When they start adding more ranks, they should have just ended at the 4. But when they started adding more ranks and then taking their abilities away and then taking their command structures away and then, stating that once you're a warrant, you're always a warrant, period. Yeah. You can't go out of warrant to be able to move up any further. I mean, my dad did purging, so he was all nuclear weapons the entire time he was a warrant, and he went in as a sergeant. And my grandfather and his brother were culinary arts. They both ran...
Hell yeah.
They were chefs.
I dig it.
They both ran the chow halls here on Fort Sill offset of each other. They both did 3 tours in Vietnam offset of each other, and the only times they get to see each other during those years was literally when they were transferring stations. They would meet each other at the different air bases as they were flying in or flying out. So those were the good days of warrants. Now, I can't really talk about pilots. I don't know a lot of warrant pilots personally, but I still know a lot of other kinds of warrants. And yeah, you're right. There are some that are really
they're
really
the
good,
exception a lot of the times because they have different rules, especially with their age, what you can apply for.
Yeah.
All I know is if you're a warrant officer pilot, you can do that all the way through your career. If you're an officer pilot, you have to go off and do your command time, so you leave the pilot world.
Yeah.
So I tell people always just go warrant officer instead of the other one. But the rest of them, I mean, they have their rules, regulations. Same with becoming officer, different rules and regulations, how they're going to do it. I can't do it, and I'm going to tell you why. Because all these people are like, why aren't you fucking doing it? You know, if it's so good, why aren't you
I'm a
doing
piece
it?
of shit. Fuck you.
It's true. It's true. I'm a piece of shit. So way back in the day, I've had if you get in trouble in the Army and you're active duty, it's called a field grade Article 15.
Yeah.
You've probably heard of these things.
We have.
I've got 3 of them.
Nice.
Whoa, yep, that one
It's
precludes
fucking
me.
unheard of
I've
nowadays.
had a question that I was waiting for an opportunity, so when this story's done, it's probably the perfect opportunity to ask that question.
First one, I was in Germany, and I punched a window out drunk with my friends after a little scuffle with some bouncers and shit down in downtown Germany. And when I punched out the window, I was like, oh, that was easy as fuck. And I was like, boom, another one. And then my buddy punched one, but he cut his hand. So he got caught. The police found him in the bathroom at the next bar we went to. And, you know, he's like, hey, man, let's go, kind of shit. So we got 45, all that shit. And right as I'm coming off my extra duty, they're like, hey, you pissed hot for weed. So I was like, God damn it. And they let me stay because we were getting ready to go to Iraq.
It's legal.
You know, back then it wasn't,
No, yeah.
especially in Germany. And then, so I did like 45 days, came off for a couple days, went back on extra duty, 45 days, came off for a week, deployed to Iraq for 15 months.
Jeez.
And it was the worst deployment. We were the hardest hit unit out of the history of the whole war. It was 2006, 2007 in East Baghdad. What was your question you were going to say?
I wanted to know the role you played in the E4 Mafia.
So it's crazy. My role in the E4 Mafia went like this. When I had those Article 15s, I was an E1. They call it fuzzy chest because back then we had the ACUs.
Yeah.
So you didn't have anything on for rank. So from that time in Germany into my deployment for fucking like a year almost, they were just like, I was E1. Then one day my boss comes to me and he goes, hey man, I don't know if someone fucked up or whatnot, but like you're getting promoted with everybody else when they go to E4 next week. Like we don't know why, because we never saw anything for you guys to get your rank back. You're in E1, so they're like, next week put on E2, next week after that put on E3, and then I'm like standing there and getting E4, and then my boss, right after I got specialist, my boss comes to me right after and he goes, hey, I know you didn't want to stay in the Army, but what if I make you a corporal and send you to the board, make you a sergeant? Would you reconsider? And I was like, yeah, I guess I'll reconsider. And I had no intentions of doing that or anything. I was like, fuck this. I'm just going to get sergeant and ride my time out.
Right. You were done at that point.
Went off, went to the board. He made me a corporal like the next week. Went to the board like 3 weeks later. So dudes who had not seen me in like a couple months knew me as a private, and then all of a sudden they now see me and they're like, what the fuck happened, dude? You're a fucking corporal and you're promotable? What the fuck? So they're like getting mad about it and shit, like, I'm not gonna listen to you, whatever you say, and that kind of shit.
But you either did something super badass or you sucked a lot of dick.
When I just did my job. What was the thing that made me stand out to the rest of everybody else, all my peers, was when I was doing the extra duty back in Germany, all these guys were showing up to work just pissed off. They were so mad to be there. My whole platoon was like that movie. My platoon was like that movie Platoon. We all joked about it. Like everyone hated each other. No one was friends really. And I would show up with a smile on my face because normal duty was easier than extra duty. I wasn't mowing grass, and if you didn't have mowers, one dude broke all the mowers, so they're like, here's your scissors.
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And you go to like 11 at night, sometimes longer. So I was just like showing up, and they were like, you're so motivated, we're happy that like going through all this bullshit, and you're not being a little bitch about it, you're showing up with a smile on your face. And I was just like, I'm just so glad I slept more than 4 hours, So
things.
That and my work ethic in Iraq like really pushed me to go into a leadership position with all that. And then, I got pushed once we got back from Iraq into Germany. I went over here to Fort Sill, and it took me a while, but I finally, did the dumb online courses and fucking got my E5. But then I got dropped again later on, probably like less than a year later, for fucking smoking weed. Pissed hot.
Goddamn devil's lettuce.
Devil's lettuce out here in Oklahoma.
It's gotten real good too. Like, it used to be garbage.
Right.
It's good now.
So they let me stay just because I was a decent soldier, and I also recently had a daughter at the time.
Right.
So they took all that in consideration. Let me stay, and then
maybe he won't be as much of a shitbag because he has to provide for a tiny person.
I mean, I moved on from all that, got rank back, and even more rank as I went along.
Right.
I switched over once I went to Afghanistan, got out of Afghanistan, said I was getting out, they were like, "You're gonna re-enlist for indefinite," and I'm like, "No, I don't want to stay infantry for 20 years because I'd be a broke ass motherfucker." And
That retirement
I had a
sucks.
plan where my buddy was going active guard reserve for the Army Reserve. So I said, "How are you doing it?" She showed me the way. I switched over myself, and I've been a active guard reserve career counselor for the last 8 years.
Hell yeah.
I got 2.5 years until I can retire, and then once I'm done with all this, I'm just gonna start traveling around the country doing comedy.
Comedy all the time.
Yep, I got I've been doing it up in the Northeast, now out here.
Yeah.
When I retire, I'm going to the Southeast to Alabama, so I'm just gonna have 3 different jump points really,
Hell
where
yeah.
I'm just going all
That's where
around.
he's from, is Bama.
Yeah.
You thought about putting out
Coleman
your
is
own?
where we'll be going.
Oh,
up
really?
there, Yeah.
Okay.
You thought about putting out your own show?
I'm gonna do my own special right after I retire.
Right.
There's a lot of shit I want to say, especially about the U.S. Army and the U.S. government,
Can't
and
do it
I
yet.
can't say it right now.
So we could. I guess we could probably help you do some shorts. Even if it's just out of here, we could help you do some shorts and stuff.
Yeah, I'm down for anything anybody puts on, doing shows, anything. My Peacock has put me on a few different things around here
Yeah.
now that I've been more cordial with them and doing a lot more than Matt.
I want to start going to more of those Sunday night shows at
Yeah, me
Comedy
too.
Avenue. Those
Yeah.
are that was fun as shit, and it was just I just randomly saw the deal that Matt put out, and I was
Yeah.
like, I need to get the fuck out of the house because my kid's driving me fucking batshit crazy right now. So I was
I'm
like,
so happy Andrew's doing those shows
Yeah.
over at there. It'll just be easy for me to constantly practice on working on my craft, and then when
Yeah.
I do my shows, I use open mics for my practice,
Right,
And then
right.
when I go to the shows, that's where I already have the full set delivered. Whatever amount of time they give me, I'm crushing it.
Right.
So
I can say that Sunday, everybody was pretty funny, except I won't say his name because he
It's all
seems
good.
like a nice enough fucking
I
guy.
already know who you're talking about.
But old Junior.
Yeah.
Even those of us that aren't fucking comedians could have a 20-minute thing that's gonna be funny.
Yeah.
Especially if you witnessed what happened on Sunday. I think I told you about it the other day at the bar.
Yeah, you did.
But
the,
holy fucking hell. I wish I would have known about that before I went out and smoked a fucking cigarette, because
Yeah.
I would have gone to the other side of the fucking parking lot.
Yeah.
Because I was right behind that truck. So there ain't no telling he's just watching me in the fucking rearview mirror.
He's not under 18, right? He's not under 18, right?
No, I don't think so. No, he's 22 and a half, remember?
Okay, yeah. You know Wayne, right? Wayne Morris?
No.
He was the bearded comedian that was there. He's one of the co-founders of My Peacock.
Oh, yeah, Wayne. Yeah, okay.
Wayne.
Yeah.
He's got a great joke about, jerking off while driving around and then fucking waving his hand to try to get it off out the window.
Well, all right.
Wayne's set was really funny, too. I gotta get with him and see if he wants to come fucking be on this shit, because that's gonna be nothing but just him. I can
Yeah.
already tell that, but
He's a good dude.
yeah.
Yeah, real fun. I love all those guys.
The loudest fucking laugh I've ever heard in my
Oh, man.
goddamn life, though.
I love it when he laughs in my
Yeah.
videos, though.
Yeah. You gotta think, because, as a comic, you try to be relatively respectful of the others, and he's not trying to be disrespectful, but you can tell once he thinks something is funny, you hear a little bit of laugh, and it's like he lags a little bit,
And then
it's just like,
really.
like everybody else is done laughing, bro.
It's
Where did that come from? Oh no, he's got a very distinctive laugh for sure. After you hear it one time,
Yeah.
you know who laughed.
Any of my things I've shared online, you can definitely hear his laugh over everybody else's.
Yeah, he was funny though. I liked his shit. Like I said, that whole show was funny. I wish we'd have had more time. Not that we'd have really done anything with it, just to go and sit.
Yeah.
Said it was a spur of the moment deal. I saw it, and 10 minutes later I was there. Like I asked Matt because I've been broke as fuck. I was like, Matt, is it free? He's like, yep. He's like, all right, I'll be there. Just got the little thumbs up fucking reaction. Like, all right, cool.
Yeah. Occasionally he does free shows. Sometimes they cost a little bit of money or
Right.
whatever. He says every time he throws a free show, people don't show up. But when he does a legit cover, people show up for some reason.
Right.
So I think some people just can't differentiate the difference between a show and an open mic.
Yeah.
And then they show up to an open mic expecting everybody to be an amazing comic.
Right,
And it's,
yeah.
it's anybody to show up. So, I mean...
Yeah,
that-
like your buddy that
Yep.
went up.
Oh,
and
yeah.
what's fucked up is what he said was just all jokes that we've heard as kids.
Yeah.
But outside, whenever he was talking after everything, like that was funny. It's like, let's just do that up there, man.
He's a funny dude.
So
It's his first time ever going.
yeah.
So
I don't know. It's. I mean, I get it though. Like all of us, I have been asked if I was going to do stand up at one point, and he was asked one night at a bar if we were,
Yeah.
going to do that. It's like, no, we're funny just talking amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're much better in this kind of setting and environment than.
Yeah. I can talk and I can tell a story, but it's a better story if I can interact with everybody.
Right.
If I'm just telling the story to tell it, it's going to fall flat because I don't get to have the rebuttal from other people involved.
Right.
that's
So,
true.
I always thought I'd be good with crowd work.
I've got a lot of great stories. It's just when you bring it to the stage,
Right.
if you don't have a punchline, some people think their premise of their story is funny enough. And in a group setting, yeah, it can be because you
Right.
can relate and everything. But in front of a stage, you just might have the wrong crowd that doesn't buy into that
Right.
and just doesn't like it. I mean, there's times you hear crickets. And the funny thing about it when that happens, especially with my humor, because it's so fucking dark sometimes, I'm the only one laughing. It still makes me laugh when I say it. So if it happens, it doesn't bother me.
Right. Let's have some of them conversations. We love those
Fuck yeah,
conversations.
man.
Like,
What do you want to talk about?
fuck everything else. Let's have some dark conversations, some dark fucking humor. Who gives a shit?
I got a new
Dark and
joke.
dry.
I'll say a new joke that I just wrote this morning, okay?
I'm in.
I wasn't going to say it because I got a show coming up on Friday.
But
But,
nobody's going to hear it till anyway.
I'll say it on here, you know? Everyone in Belgium, get ready.
They're probably not going to hear it Friday
Where's that
anyways.
courthouse?
No shit. We do have one random listener, and it has been. I checked it again, and it went from just the one listen to there is the same amount of listens as we have shows put out.
Yeah.
And it is the Washington Courthouse.
Washington
Granted, I don't know
Courthouse.
which Washington Courthouse it is. Probably not the important one,
Yeah.
but it is there, and it's just funny to have it there. That it's just there's one listen per episode from the Washington Courthouse, and I love
yeah.
it.
He's listened to
Why
us.
don't you comment on one of the episodes?
No shit. Let us know who the fuck you are. We'll
mean-
give you a shout out, or we'll talk shit to you, depending on which one it's at.
We might even throw you a shirt when we get some made.
Hell yeah. Here's the joke I wrote. It's a little dark, I'm sorry.
Oh no, we want it.
I killed a lot of people in Iraq. People ask me now if it mess with me doing that. I tell them yes, it was horrible. I couldn't get any joy for years until I started killing people again in Afghanistan.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Dark and dry.
Definitely okay with that.
Yep.
Oh, so when I was doing comedy in the Northeast, shout out to EMT Comedy and Maverick Prasad. Me and my best friend were like, I was trying to get him to do comedy for so long, but I was in Connecticut, he was in Keene, New Hampshire, and I'm like, how about you meet me in the middle, Springfield, Massachusetts? So we went there. Went online to Facebook, found a group that was like, we're doing open mics here. We show up. I had no clue. It was a restaurant called The Tent, and it's an Iraqi restaurant. The first night I'm there,
Of course it is.
I say a joke, and I'm like, y'all fucking brought me to the murder capital of Massachusetts to fucking tell jokes, and I got PTSD because of Iraqi people, and you bring me to an Iraqi restaurant, and I was like, what the fuck is that? So they're all dying and shit over all these jokes. The next time I go to their open mic, I get like the best treatment ever from the owner. He loved me. He gave me free food, and then I see some Iraqi guys during my set over in the corner smoking hookah. And I'm like, what's up, Iraqi guys? Where are you guys from? And they say Baghdad.
Oh wow.
Where
Well-
I've been to Baghdad. So I was I was also a little lit. I was lit on Sunday night. That's why I went over like by 6 minutes.
That was funny.
But I was really drunk for that, and I said something fucked up, and I told him, I was just like, which side of Baghdad you from, east or west? Because the river, Tigris River, cuts right through Baghdad.
Yeah.
And they were like west side, but I was deployed to the east side, so I was like, I guess that's good, because I probably would have murdered you and your families. Just being drunk and fucking talking shit.
Wow.
My buddies who drove from Keene, New Hampshire, there's two of them.
They left.
No. When we were all done, they were driving away, and the Iraqi guys thought I was with them, so they took off after them, chasing to kill me. And then I went down to Connecticut, and then they're like calling me on the way, like, they're chasing us, and I was like, they're not going to be that bad of a
Right.
deal.
Like, but you got
Once
guns,
they see,
right? Like,
Once they see I'm not in there, you're no threat. So, but the owner of the restaurant kicked my friend Maverick Prasad out of that restaurant for the rest of the fucking time. They all just threw a show up in New Hampshire. My wife was up there she was picking up my daughter.
Yeah.
And they're all mentioning that fucking story about it and everything, being like, this fucking time your husband got me kicked out of it was a restaurant, not a real comedy club.
That's awesome.
I try not to be that offensive, but if I'm drinking, I mean, it just comes right out of me. I'm sorry.
Also, the last couple of times we've seen you,
Yeah, I mean, I was drinking a little bit, maybe a little bit too much at the Red Dirt. I try not to always do it, because especially more than like 2 or 3.
Right.
Because then I could talk about anything. One time the time I won, I was in there, I don't know, the 10 minutes after I won. I went in there, did my 10 minutes, and I was just... The bartender, I was sitting next to another comedian who's a Arabic gentleman, and I look over and I see at the bar an Arabic gentleman walk up. He was brown, I couldn't tell really, didn't know what threat level to assess him at the point, but he walks up to the bar and he's got a goatee, and I was like, holy shit, he looks just like this guy, and that I'm sitting with, who's another comedian, and the bartender who looks like Megan Fox, her name's Taylor up there, she was there that night, you guys were all there, she walks up and gives the food to the guy sitting next to me, like, here's your food. And he's just like, I didn't order this food. And I'm like looking back and forth like, oh, I know what this is. This is a classic tale of racism. It's accidental, but like, is that the gentleman? I'm like, is that the gentleman you want? And she's like, oh my God. And then brought it over to him. So I had to talk shit about it a little bit while I was up there because I was a little bit drunk.
I mean, why not?
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we were, because I texted them whenever I saw you on Sunday. And we understand you're married, so, your balls are in somebody else's purse.
Yeah.
So, we had to make sure. That's what he was like, oh, we're going to give him shit about that. I was like, oh, trust me, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Yeah. Like, we get it. You gotta ask the wife, because it doesn't matter who's fucking married to what or what relationship you're in. The woman wins.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Even if you're divorced, the woman wins.
They always win on that one. Unless they're,
I won a few times in family court, though. So there was a few victories that I was pretty proud of.
Yeah,
but we're all losers, honestly.
Right, we're all losers. You might have won the battles, but not about the war.
No, my wife's cool. She's cool as fuck. You know what I'm saying? We are legit poly. So we had a girlfriend around here. I don't know. It kind of. My wife and I like to ruin other people's marriages, is what it is. I mean, it's not me.
Everybody's got their kink, right?
It's she likes to find friends of hers that are currently going through divorces, because I guess that's easy. Or
that way they can cement the divorce.
Yeah. And then so all my friends, if they ever listening, it could be your wife. Who knows?
It's a sympathy threesome.
But yeah, we're cool with it.
That was one of the probably top 3 favorite jokes that you did was when talking about just she was in a coma and just fucking on top of your wife.
It fucked up because she was right there. So I was like, oh, fuck, you're right here. I can't say you're in a coma. So I was like, she used to be in a coma.
She was in a coma.
That's the funny part about my jokes, I think, and like my wife thinks, is like so many of them are not true at all.
Right.
It's just me running my mouth saying fucked up shit. Because some people are like, wait, isn't that your wife who's standing right there?
It's like, shut up, don't tell her.
Right.
Fucking
so
goddamn,
a lot of people are like, you should say that's your girlfriend.
I thought it was good. But for us, we like the dark humor.
Yeah.
That's what it is here. Like, if you were to come here, if you'd have came here 6 months ago, before this was a thing, and there was none of this here, like, we'd be having the same conversation.
Yep.
Minus trying to make it half-ass entertaining for whoever's going to fucking be dumb enough to listen to it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or the days after. We're going to have the same fucking conversations. It's going to be far less tame, and it's going to get less and less tame. I mean, we're an hour and 20 minutes in almost already.
I'm still hard.
So we had to do our cutoff. How to do our cutoff soon.
Yeah, in about 30 minutes, we'll probably, I don't assume you have anywhere you got to be tonight.
No.
So, he's the only one of us that has, like, a real job.
Yep.
So
I gotta go pretend I give a shit in the morning.
Yeah.
But we also
you have to go take
try
shit.
To stick under the YouTube limit.
Literally.
Yeah.
Or at least so that's why some of ours we do 2 parts.
Yeah, that's how Matt's was. Matt's was a 2-part.
Under 2 hours, so it can go to YouTube.
Yeah.
And then we'll take a break and then just roll right into the next
The way
section.
this is rolling right now, we're kind of at a good enough spot to
Yeah.
go ahead and chop this one out.
Yeah, we can take a break and I can cut all this out and then we can have a couple beers and just bullshit and
Sure.
just get shit rolling.